Welcome to the Desire to Dream podcast. I'm your host, Lo Wilder. The vision of this podcast is to provide tools on how to become successful in your finances, business, leadership development, and much more. A little bit about me: I grew up in the hood, homeless at the age of 14. I made a choice not to become a product of my environment. And today, I am a successful businessman, community leader, and inspirational speaker. It is my desire to encourage and empower you to unlock your greatness. So tune in and enjoy the show. Welcome back to another episode of the Desire to Dream podcast. I'm your host, Lo Wilder. And today, man, I got a good friend of mine, man, fellow king, my brother Ely Rivera out in the West. What's going on, man?
Oh, brother, just a phenomenal night over here. Hanging on a Flagstaff right now with the wifey, but another phenomenal day, bro. How about you?
Man, I'm loving it, man. I'm out here just winning, bro. Like I was sharing this with the group, man. I said, you know, when you got the Kings, man, the Kings Accountability Group, and everyone's winning, it just encourages you and empowers you, man. Right? Like, I mean, I know you always putting up your wins, man, and so it's just a great thing to have a good group of men that are just going after their goals, executing at a high level, encouraging one another.
It absolutely is, man. It's such a blessing to have found the group for sure, and to be a big part of it is huge, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. Hey, kind of dive in a little bit about your story, you know, a little bit about yourself. You know, for those that don't know, my brother Ely, he's a Master Chief, is it?
So it's I'm actually a captain, but everybody
Chief.
calls me chief because at the time when that started, I was getting ready to take a battalion chief fire test.
Uh-huh.
And I'm currently next on the list to be made chief if I want to be, but at this time, definitely not ready for that, man. I want to have some more time on the truck,
Right.
hang out with the crews and do some fun stuff. But as far as for me, man, my parents basically met in Puerto Rico, came out here, and they decided to get married and have me out here. So I've been born and raised in the Phoenix, Arizona area.
Mm-hmm.
You know, graduated local community or high school in '99, Bulldog, Barry Goldwater Bulldog. So graduated high school with not really 100%, wasn't sure what I wanted to do at the time, but I remember in the high school class, school to work program, there was this pamphlet going around that spoke about the fire department, the Phoenix Fire Department to be specific, which has been one of the larger, more popular fire departments across the United States, just for the chief that was there at the time. But I remember this key word. It said you have to be physically fit to be a firefighter. At the time, I wouldn't call myself physically fit. The family had owned ice cream trucks for a long time. So you could just imagine having all access to ice cream trucks and then Puerto Rican fruit.
Oh,
fried
yeah.
Puerto Rican fruit, man.
Yeah, you already know. I know all about it, man. Puerto Rican. My
yeah.
mother's Puerto Rican. Arroz con habichuelas, everything.
You know what we're talking about,
Right.
So I definitely wasn't the fittest, but I for some reason I said I'm gonna give this an attempt. I'm gonna see what it's like because at the time I wanted to become a mechanic, car mechanic. But I had replacing my my Buick Regal's transmission 3 times and drop it on me twice on my chest. I was like,
I'm good.
I'll do this for fun. Yeah, but this is not what I want to do.
Right.
So just looking into it, 6 months, I stopped drinking soda, stopped eating fast food, stayed away from the ice cream, and just ate better. So I managed to release 50 pounds in that time frame of 6 months.
Wow.
Which allowed me just to take a real serious look at the fire service to see what it was really about. Luckily, with my mom's support, we went to the local community college and I signed up for this fitness and conditioning class for firefighters just to see if I was even in good enough shape at the time to do this.
Right.
And at the time, the chief who was teaching that class was like, hey, if you're serious about doing this, like, let me know and come do a ride along and check it out, and we'll take it from there.
Mm-hmm.
So funny enough, I did go for that ride along in Peoria as our local department, which I fell in love with. But I fell in love with it from day one. But the way the fire service works, and I'm sure many other industries do the same, but they almost tease you a little. They mess around with you to see see what you got.
Right. A little test.
Yeah. So they're like, oh man, just hang out. You know, just enjoy. They got recliners, TV. Just hang out, enjoy yourself. You know, study, do your studying. So I just did what they said. I was green. I had no clue about the fire service at all. I have no family in the fire service, so this was my first eye-opening experience into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the following Friday, I went to our class, and the chief who was running this class says, "What did you do? Like these guys are talking bad about you, saying that you're lazy, you're no good, you're this and that." I was like, "I just did what they said, sir." He's like, "Ah, all right, I know what they're doing. They're messing with you." He's like,
Mm.
"Just go back and follow the newest guy on the department, and just follow him. Do whatever he does better." And that's really where my story started. I
Wow.
felt I fell in love with it, and I literally rode along with this department for a year straight. Every single C shift I was there. Luckily, the way that my schedule worked, I did at the time have my own business. Basically, was running an ice cream truck, and I was able to take whatever days I wanted off or work around my schedule. So I went there every single day to learn the job.
Wow. Yeah, man, that's amazing, brother. Because like you said, your parents they came straight from Puerto Rico and moved to Phoenix, and you didn't have any experience, man. But the mental toughness, man, like that's something I love about you, right? And we want to talk about that because you made a decision, right, to go against whatever it is, the norms, the things that you were doing, and said, you know what, I'm going after this goal. I'm going after it. I'm going to sacrifice for 6 months. I have a similar story as far as when I was 15 years old working for the electric company, and the same thing, right? It was like kind of let me did whatever I wanted to do, and guys started talking like, "Man, this guy's lazy." I didn't know, like I'm 15, right? So
Yeah.
and next thing is kind of like you said, man, you just look after what other people are doing and like do better. Any challenges like from that you wanted to like not do it after a while, or you was always locked in like day one, once you joined the fire department, you were like, I'm locked in, this is what I want to do.
So I would say there was one moment where it was either I'm going to do it or not, and it was basically and I was still in class. I hadn't even got the job yet. I wasn't full time yet, but
Mm,
it was through the fire academy, Fire 102 Academy, where you basically become a certified firefighter for the state of Arizona. And we have all our gear on, which our gear, depending on what we're carrying and stuff like that, weighs anywhere from 50 to 75 pounds of gear. But basically, we're doing a search and rescue drill in this big building, and we're following in a hose line into the building. And there's no fire, there's no real heat, but there's smoke. The magic smoke, basically, the fog stuff. They filled the room with this, and I couldn't see. So the way our old SCBA bottles, the self-contained breathing apparatus that were 2216 psi, the way that they worked, it was hard to breathe out of these things. And it was probably my first or second time practicing with these, having no visibility and then crawling on my hands and knees following the hose line.
mm,
And for a second, I freaked out. I got
right.
that phobia of not having enough oxygen, not being
Oxygen,
able to
yeah.
see. Yeah, not being able to see, not having enough air. I was like, man, what's going on? I kind of freaked out a little bit, but luckily for me, once again, we're talking about following those people ahead of you. The instructors took the time to say, hey, you're fine. You're in this building. We know where you're at. Just keep doing your job, stay focused. And they talked me through it, and I was able to continue that. And that was probably the toughest time that I had throughout the whole, just to make sure that this was really what I wanted to do. And after that, it was just soaring. I mean, it's been a
Man,
phenomenal ride so far. And
yeah.
I just celebrated my 19th year on the fire department full time.
Man, that's fire, bro.
Yep.
Hey, fire.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
you know
man.
it, you know
I
it.
love it. I love it, man.
Yep, yep.
So, man, talking about mental toughness, man, someone who's been working out extremely hard, like every day, you don't make any excuses. And you got into this journey and this fitness. I know you did it to get into the fire department, but then, what is it? A few years ago, you decided to do a challenge, the 75 hard. Is that how it started, or you were just started working out when you got into the 75 hard, or was that the first time you done it, you just kept on working out ever since?
So what happened is I kind of came to this point in my life where I was like, I've done a lot of things that I want to do, but now I've been stagnant for some time. And I was thinking about this earlier today, and I think I'd say I was probably stagnant for 3 years.
Mm,
I had a goal, like we talked about, those mentors. So I had mentors in the city of Peoria. I had 3 mentors that I looked up to, and my plan was to grab the best attributes of each and every single one of these gentlemen and use that to become the best version of myself that I could be at the time. So I feel that because getting promoted to captain was one of them. Becoming a technical rescue technician was another one. Becoming a hazmat tech. So there's a lot of things that I wanted to do, but also have the personality of these guys working out of, the achievements that they've done through their career, being a firefighter of the year, like all those things are things I want to do.
Right.
But I would say from probably 2012 to 2015, there was a lull there in my drive. I was just chilling.
Going
I
with the
wasn't really,
motions, just every
yeah,
day, just clocking in, clocking out.
exactly, and not really. I mean, I was good. I was happy. So I would say 2015. I told myself that. So my birthday is November 28th of 80 is when I was born. But between my birthday when I turned 35 and New Year's, I told myself that at 40, I'm going to be the fittest at 40. That was the goal that started this whole journey that I'm on right now, is to become fittest at 40. So I gave myself a 5-year time frame to become the fittest I could be.
Mm.
And that goes along for my family to be fit. That way I could be there and provide for my family and be able to show them the love and support they need. For my career, that I honestly I want to do probably another 20 years,
Mm.
depending on how everything else goes that
Right.
I'm venturing into. But I can see myself doing another 20 years because I love it so much. And then just I know that in my family we have cancers, we have diabetics. So I wanted to be, that's another drive that opened up my eyes and said, I got to do this for me, and ain't nothing gonna get in my way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it really started. So 2016 January, I started looking into things just with that in mind. And then I think I ran into the Live Hard program, which is also called 75 Hard. Some people call it 75 Hard Challenge, but it's a program is what it's supposed to be. 2019 is when I ran into at the time it was the MFCEO project, which was another podcast that Andy Frisella was doing.
Right.
But I listened to this program. I'm like, okay, 2 workouts a day, drink a gallon of water, nutritional plan, take a progress picture. All these things are things I could do, but I want to see if I can challenge myself to do it for 75 days, because it's the boot camp of this program
Right.
is 75 days. So I think that that kind of woke me up and helped me to get to the point where I'm at today, being that this is my 3rd year on the program and going into my 4th year, starting January 1st.
Man.
But
Bro, I'm like, so a lot of people probably miss that, right? You're going into your 4th year, but
yep.
you haven't had any days off in 3 years.
So to speak to that, the actual day that, and that's funny you said that, because I was thinking about that right now, is the last day that didn't work out was January 4th of 2019.
Insane, man.
And I know for a fact that I missed 2 workouts that year, because the first one was I was hungover. It was January 1st.
Right.
And then there was this, interestingly enough, I was following a firefighter fitness page on Instagram for January, or before then, but January they had do 100 reps of whatever workout they selected for the month of January. So on the 2nd, I did the 1st and 2nd. The 3rd, I did the 3rd. The 4th, the 4th, I didn't. I missed the 4th. And then the 5th, I did the 4th and 5th to catch up for the month. But then I continued to post on Instagram about this, and they actually reached out. They're like, hey, you're doing such a good job. Are you up for the challenge if we do this for a whole year? And I thought they were playing around. I'm like, there's no way they're going to continue to put out one different workout every single day for 365 days, and you have to do 100 of these workouts.
Right.
I was like, absolutely. I'm a firefighter.
Right.
I'm fit,
Right.
I'm good. Like, I got this. And interesting enough, for the next 11 months, right on cue, they said it didn't matter what it was. It could be like planks, whatever it was, like every sit-ups, every day it changed.
100 reps.
Yep, 100 reps for 365 days.
Wow.
So that also kicked this off.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm curious, right? Because a lot of people, January 1st, they're like, man, new year, new me. And you have this goal, but then time just goes over and over. Like, what was it that I get it. You put the goal up and you're like, man, I wanted to be the fittest at 40, but there's a lot of people that set that goal. I'm included, right? Set goals. And then I'm like, man, Then next, it's 2 days, 3 days, a week, 2 weeks. But what was it so that the audience, people that are listening, can really like nail this in, like dial it in, and really get focused on their goals and really going after it? Like what was it that clicked, and you were like, this is something, or these are a few things that I do so that I can prepare and execute.
It was just that eye-opening moment, man. I just felt like I was in a rut and I need to change something. And it changed like for my whole family. Like my wife for a while was like, what is he doing? Like, what's he going through? Like, because I wasn't the best at communicating at the time, what
Hmm.
I was going through or what I was thinking. So I was like, I just got to do this for me. I'm in a rut. I got to change things up. And this is kind of the path that I'm taking. And trust me, this is for my family, for my career, for myself. Like, I'm going to continue to do this because I do have this goal to be fittest at 40. So it didn't happen overnight. Like, obviously I said 2016 was when I started this. So I just started slowly and surely incorporating more things. I started getting coaching. I started doing the listening to different podcasts,
Hmm.
I just started gathering more information. I started reading, just little baby steps to get me to become better each and every single day. And I just continue to incorporate that to attempt to figure out my best routine. And that's funny because I used to hate routines. There was a couple of things I used to hate. I used to hate routines. I
Hmm.
used to hate preparing for things. I used to hate reading, which those three things are now all things that I dig into deep.
Now it's like your top thing, like your superpower, man, is to do all three of those.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
absolutely is because there's especially like reading, there's so much information in books. And I used to tout that I only read one book from basically through high school up until I was basically 35, 36 years old. Like I was
Right,
proud of that.
right.
And that's the ignorant me thinking that that's a good thing. Like showing off that I don't read.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I would definitely say like the information that I've gathered through that, through coaching programs now, the ET program group that I'm
Hmm.
with, the CAG group that I'm with. I recently joined Arate, which is another group, coaching group. Just joining different groups of people who are also out there attempting to become their best version of themselves.
Yeah, yeah. And then
And
with that, man, did you like, I mean, obviously, family coming from Puerto Rico, my mother didn't have much of an education. She didn't really have much of a career. So a lot of this like was me learning on the go, like mentors, exposure, right? We follow ET, we follow Jamal King. We talk about your level of exposure will also be determine your level of success. So, we talk about exposure. So what was it like? Was it exposure for you, like these mentors from the firefighting? Because I do want to pivot into what you're also doing with the remodeling business. So Eli also has his own remodeling business, I believe, with your brother. You got your wife, you and your wife are doing phenomenal things with remodeling and flips, but also with the Airbnb business. So exposure, that's what got you going. Like, hey, I got exposed to these different things and now I'm on it.
so yeah, exactly like you said, the fire service was definitely that. The three gentlemen that I wanted to be like and have the knowledge was there's actually four. There's a chief, two captains, and an engineer.
Hmm.
So they exposed me to the fire service in a way that I wouldn't have been able to see. Continuing through that, my family actually being from Puerto Rico, back at home, that build their own houses, that build things. My grandpa built the house that my family lived in for many years out in Puerto Rico. Bringing that back here, a bunch of my cousins and uncles were in the trades, construction, concrete, all that stuff, framing. And my dad showed us some of that and allowed us to work through some of that stuff. So naturally, and we'd always like to work with our hands. That's firefighting is working with your hands. Working on cars is working on your hands, and construction is working with your hands. So I'm definitely enjoy doing that, and that's kind of where it started. It just started by doing little things here and there, pouring little concrete pads, doing electrical here and there with a buddy, doing tile, flooring.
Hmm.
In the fire academy, there was a guy who owned his own business, and me and another guy who actually I'm a captain with in Buckeye, where we work alongside each other at the same station right now. But me and him started helping out my buddy who worked for another fire department. It's just that exposure that continued to grow, and just I continued to dig into a little bit more. My brother being a long time, he's owned his own business for a long time, but he basically installs appliances. So
Hmm.
he's seeing that same exposure. He's getting exposure to houses and always being around the trades, and we just continued to work it. And one day, my a firefighter of mine, actually, who's my business partner in the Airbnbs and all the houses we flipped, he was wanting to do this thing, and he knew that I'd done a couple things for him, built a bar, did some electrical at his house. He's like, "Hey, what do you think about flipping this house?" I'm like, "Me and my brother in. Let's do it.
Hmm.
Let's give it a try. See what we can do. What we can make happen." So through that process, we ended up. It took a little longer than planned, but it actually panned out just the way the taxes worked. But we ended up purchasing this house for just over 300 in Scottsdale, South Scottsdale. And after a year and about 2 months, I think it took us through the whole process, working with the city, and I did all that. I drew up the plans, not really knowing too much, just following the website,
Hmm.
just digging into it. It's just that exposure, just doing the research is one thing that I found that don't listen, don't allow people to tell you that no, it's too hard, no, you can't do this, no, I've attempted it and it was impossible. No, do the research that needs to get done
Hmm.
and figure out if you can do it or not. That's definitely a huge thing that opened my eyes and allowed me to become a general contractor a few years back.
Yeah, man, and it's crazy because even right now with a lot of people are talking about with the whole real estate game, and they're like, man, wait till it bottoms out. And I'm telling people, I'm like, listen, I'm gonna be real. Like, it is not gonna be 2007 and 2011.
No,
That is never gonna happen
no.
again. Um, any insight you got, knowing that you got the experience, people that might want to get into it because you have your career with as a captain, right? But also the real estate. So for me as well, my wife, we are leveraging real estate for passive income, for creating generational wealth. Like how like critical it is that, or how can you encourage someone that's probably on the fence saying, man, I want to do it, but I'm scared. But why? One, what do they got to do? And then two, why should they do it?
So first, I would say just do some research, making sure that you have all the numbers in front of you before you do jump in. Don't just listen to any Joe Schmo off the street telling you,
Hmm.
"Oh, this is a great deal." Like, do the research, figure it out. If you're looking to buy a house, do the research in the area, find out what the houses are going for, what they're selling for, all that stuff. Hopefully, you have a good realtor if you're not a realtor. But just doing your homework on whatever it is you're attempting to do is number one key to jumping in, and then it's almost jumping in because we need to learn. We learn a lot more from our failures than we do successes. Really,
Mm.
like we jumped in and we didn't have it all planned out. We were hoping to get this flip done, turned over in 3 months. A year and 2 months later,
Right,
so 4 times the amount of time we planned it was going to take us when we finally completed the project.
right. But you got it
It
done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we got it done. It was just showing up every single
you-
day, showing up,
that's
figuring
good,
out what
man.
we had to do to make it happen.
Yeah, man. And so now you got the Airbnb as well. So how's that going for you? And I had a buddy of mine who kind of talked about the Airbnb business and why it's important. Actually, when we were talking during the episode, he literally got like a bang. And he's like, hold on, let me see. What's today's day? He's like, I just made $600, like something like that, while
Yep.
he was doing it. And you and your wife right now, you guys took a few days off and your Airbnb was available, and that's where you are right now, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So currently we have it's me, my partner, and my brother are the three that own the houses, but the one in Scottsdale is all three of us. Different partnership structure. So that one, I'm the owner of the house, and then all three of us are partnered up. We've had that one since 2020. That one's going pretty good. It's a lot better, obviously, coming up. We got the Super Bowl coming in
That's
Arizona, so
right.
that's
Yep.
that's
Yep.
going to be a huge period. But we got the TPC, the golf tournament. That's usually pretty huge, and everybody wants to get away from their winters and
Yeah.
come enjoy ours out here in Arizona. So that one, and then the one we're at right now is the Flagstaff one, which we purchased middle of last year, and that really was we did this project for my business partner Dan. Basically, he had a rental property who he picked up two of them in 08 or 9 time frame in a pretty bad neighborhood. He picked him up for dirt cheap. He's been renting that house ever since, but unfortunately for the renters, they caught it on fire.
Mm, man.
So the guy was working on his vehicle outside um, with the impact and fuel, and that caught on fire, caught the truck on fire, and went ran the attic and caught the whole house on fire.
Oh man. Wow.
So two things came out of that for us. Is one thing, I ended up becoming a general contractor because they told us that if we do the work and we have our own general contract license, you'll get a bigger cut of the insurance monies.
Mm,
So that's when I did that research. Although people have said you have to have this amount of experience, you have to have worked for this many people. I'm like, I'm just gonna get started. I'm gonna force them to tell me no.
right. I
I'm
love
not
it.
gonna listen. I'm not gonna listen to Joe and Jimmy and James over there telling me that they tried it, they couldn't do it, they didn't make it happen.
Yeah.
So I started doing it, and it was a lot easier than I really thought. It was
Wow.
amazingly easier than I thought. But so the thing that came out of it was that, and then through that, when we ended up cashing out for that house, we sold it for a lot more than we thought we were going to sell it for. We all ended up just saying, "Hey, let's put that money into this house that we're in right now." So this Flagstaff Airbnb or short-term rental, which we have it on Airbnb and VRBO, but we just took the profits off of that house and put it into this house, and then we had to come do work over here too. We had to put in that sweat equity
Yep.
that's
Yep.
that's needed, a little bit of elbow grease, but
Mm-hmm.
we came through, we got it done, and it's on the market. And this is doing a lot better than our Scottsdale one is.
Man.
So
Man, listen, man. I mean, what I'm getting from, this conversation, and I hope the listeners are listening, like, and what you're saying, right? Just go out there and do it, because I think a lot of times we get all this information and we just stay paralyzed. Like, we don't do it. Paralysis analysis, right?
yep.
Like, we consume a lot of information and we just don't go out there and do it. And so it's encouraging to hear that, man. Just go out there and do it. Like you said, let them tell you no, whatever it is that you're doing. I mean, you guys are hearing it here. Like, he's a captain, right, of a firefighter. He's a captain at the fire station, right? He's got his remodeling business. He's got the Airbnbs, general contracting, he's working out. I mean, all of these different things. And so it's possible, man. So before we go, man, just wondering, like, scheduling wise, man, and this is something for me too. Like, you got 24 hours in a day, right? And how do you get it all done before the end of the day? A lot of us are like, man, we run out of time. what
Yeah.
what is the secret to your success?
Well, one thing I've challenged myself to do, and we all have a little different aspect into our day, but we got a lot of time throughout one day. I mean, 24 hours is a lot of time. Let's say we sleep anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. You still have a quarter or three-quarters, if not two-thirds of a day left. Like you said, and like Nike's always had that slogan, just do it. Like
Just do it.
I love saying that, like just do it. Like so many people talk about balance. For me, it's balance over longer periods. My balance is more of a month, 3 months, a year. I understand that I'm not going to be able to have family time today because my schedule at the fire department is normally is 2 days on, 4 days off. So I'm at the firehouse for 48 hours.
Just
In
straight.
that in that time, my family time looks a little different. It's doing this right here. Luckily, we have this technology now that we can get on Snapchat, on Zoom, whatever it is, and talk to each other for a little bit. But my family time is 30 minutes in that 48 hours, maybe. So it's that balance. It's more of I'm not attempting to do everything in one day. I look at it in a broader perspective.
That's good.
So that enables me to be able to do more throughout that time frame. And that goes to getting into those routines like we talked about. Like I wake up early. Like I'm anymore right now since I'm on the Live Hard program phase 2. Today was day 17 of that, but I like to wake up at 4 a.m. to get my day started.
Hmm.
But I go to bed early too. It's not that I'm going to bed super late. Normally I'm in bed by 9 o'clock, so I'm getting my sleep still. But right now, a good schedule has been on this phase is 4 a.m. getting up. And the thing with that, one thing with that is a lot of people say you have to get up early. It's not getting up early. It's just getting up at a time that allows you the time to do the things you need to do before you
Right.
get bothered, not necessarily bothered, but you get
And
interrupted with life.
interrupted. Right. Right.
Exactly, because we all have life. Life,
Yeah.
our kids are waking up, our pets are waking up. We need to figure out a time frame that works best for us where we can make the best of that 3 hours. Like I can do so much from 4 to 7 a.m. I get so much of my day completed. like the rest of the day is easy breezy. There's tasks that I have to get done every single day, no matter what. 3 to 5 tasks every single day that I'm getting this and this done. From there, it could take me an hour to get that done. As long as I get those things done,
Right.
I'm gonna win that day, and my goal is to win it each and every single day.
That's good, man. That's
That's where I'm
good.
focused at.
I love it. I love it, man. And before you go, last thing, right? If you can go back and do something differently, you said 19 years you've been in the fire department, but if you can go back any point, anytime, what would it be like? What would you change or what would you do differently so you can help someone? Because right now, there's probably somebody right now, if they make a decision right now, can, change their course of their life for the next 20 years. So what would you have done differently? And then also just what you got planned going forward.
Yeah. So amazingly enough, now that you asked me this question, the 3 things that popped in my head is 1, read. Read.
See the books in my back, man. Hey,
Oh yeah.
need that.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Number 2 is don't believe the hype of all coaching is bad coaching. Find coaches out there, find mentors out there to help you out to get the things that you want to accomplish. Make sure that they're doing them, have done them, or know people who have done that they've coached. Don't get none of these people who haven't done it or nothing like that and just attempt to become a coach. Get people who know the process that you're looking to take on.
Achieve, yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Cool,
And then
man.
lastly, is just get after it, man. Make it happen.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, man. Well, look, man, I appreciate your time, brother, man, dropping some nuggets. Hopefully everybody is encouraged, inspired, motivated. Go out there and just execute the day, man. Win the day. Just do it. Just like my brother Eli said, man, just go out there and do it. Man, we appreciate you. If you want to follow him, he's got some great content, man. He's always working out. He's always got some good stuff, man. So I will be sure to put that in the social media handles. But I appreciate you, bro. And, to you and your wife, man, I wish you guys nothing but success.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. And right back at you, man. Love you.
All right, man. Love you too, bro. Be easy. Take care.